Welcome back, everybody. This is MDawg, and today we're looking at this is sort of a in between. A lot of times I've been trying to focus on digital versions of card and board games that you can play both obviously digitally, but as well as in real life. And this is kind of an in betweener. It's going to take me a minute to sort of set this up for you. Basically, there is a game that is now out called Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. And I'll try to put the link for Board Game Geek link for that game. It's a highly rated game on the Geek. Fairly heavy, 3.29 in terms of the community's voting on its weight. Definitely a thematic game that'll have a similar theme to what you're seeing here. This was published by Awakened Realms. Piskorski Swierkot, something like that, is the name of the developers. This was a game that was kickstarted, okay? Board game, kickstarted board game. You can play that game solo as well, but it does play 1 to 4 players. I believe it is a cooperative game, solo or cooperative. So, as one of their stretch goals, and I apologize if I'm messing up the details a little bit, because I was trying to research sort of backwards. But anyway, back when this was kickstarted, one of the stretch goals was getting access to a digital version of Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. Or a Tainted Grail game, something like that. Anyway, that then became Tainted Grail Conquest, which is what this game is that I'm going to be briefly showing you here today. It is available on Steam. Again, I'll try to remember to put the link to this game in Steam. Now, all that being said, there is still a version of Tainted Grail. What did I say the name of it was? The Fall of Avalon, that's still being worked on by these same guys. And it's going to be a translation from the board game into this, what sounds like they've got pretty high expectations for what the digital version is going to be like. And again, it's not a 1-to-1. It's not like getting Scythe, playing that at your table and then playing the digital version of Scythe where you're just really looking at the board game, playing the board game. This is much more like a open world that just happens to have card mechanics. So anyway, the game we're playing today is called Tainted Grail Conquest. It is now available on Steam. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon is available IRL, to be announced when it's coming on Steam, on the digital version. So it's interesting. It's kind of complicated, but it's interesting. This is, let's see, how is this game described in Steam itself? Tainted Grail Conquest is described, and let me also tell you how much it is. Right now, all of these games are on such deep sales. It's like December 27th, 2021. All these like board and card game stuff are on really deep sales. Normally it looks like this game's $20, which I think that probably makes sense for what you're getting here. But it is described as a dark fantasy deck building card game with pretty heavy RPG elements. Okay, let's talk about the game itself. This is one of those games, roguelike, where you're going to die and come back. And in this game, it's going to be like a lot of unless I'm just bad at the game, which is always possible. This seems like the kind of game where you're going to be making tiny steps, improving things. So I'm jumping in, 20 minutes of gameplay in. I've played a couple of runs. One of the first things you do is you rescue the Blacksmith, right? And when you rescue the Blacksmith, he comes back to your village. That's where we are now. All of these buildings over here, I suspect, are going to represent other citizens that we're going to rescue. So there'll be quite a few of them. We're going to grow our village, which will give us access to more things, make us stronger and stronger. You can choose different classes, although the class that I'm playing as now is the one that you do start as. When you're moving around in this world, you can do WASD, or you can right or left click on the map to move. And this is what the village looks like. Now, as soon as you leave the village, this is where things get weird. Now it's like you can't hardly see anything. And you're going to run into these random encounters. Like, we'll go ahead and run into this one here. Our current quest, by the way, is to slay the stone golem. I can guarantee you we're not strong enough to slay the stone golem. Let me go ahead and get rid of the camera so you can see all of it. So obviously, graphically, this part of the game looks very weird. But this is just basically a way for them to communicate that you're traveling around and you don't really know kind of what's, I think, beyond the next corner. There's a lot of different things you can run into. One thing that you can run into are these random combats, and this is where the game, for me at least, shines. It is a fairly fun deck building game with obviously pretty gruesome, you know, it is dark fantasy, and that's not for me, like, I don't love that, but I think for some people that will be appealing. And basically at this point it's just a fairly standard card game. You can play 3 energy per turn. Your cards have different energy cost. They interact in different ways. Every time you level up or finish combat, typically you may get to choose a new card to add to your deck to make your deck stronger and stronger, again to make your character stronger and stronger. I would assume that there's going to be ways to get rid of certain cards, because any good deck building typically has that option, right, where you're making your deck stronger not only by getting stronger cards, but also by reducing the cards you have. Now, one interesting, well, there's a lot of cool things. One of the cool things are these tainted cards. These are always like this hard decision. If I play this, I'm going to lose 25 armor for 2 turns, so I'm going to take more damage. And it also takes up 2 energy, so I'm only going to be able to play 1 more energy this turn. But if I don't play it, then I'll be doing 75% less damage. So we're going to go ahead and play that. Unfortunately, we'll take a little more damage, but at least we're still doing full damage. And then we could do this, but I don't think I want to. I think we either block here or do damage. Let's just go ahead and do some damage to this opponent. So we drag that card there. You see now on the bottom right, we have 0 out of 3 energy. So I'm going to start just kind of playing my hand here. We're going to do Broad Reach to get increased damage. And then we'll go... Actually didn't get any regular attacks, which is unfortunate. We'll do a overhead swing, reduce his armor, and then we'll do small strikes, which if there was multiple enemies, it would hit up to 3 enemies randomly. So we've got him on the ropes for sure. We could do Broad Reach again, especially since we only have 2 attacks. We also could play it safe and stun him. And maybe that sets up killing him next turn. So let's stun him and then do an attack. End our turn. He should not be able to do anything this turn, and hopefully we can go ahead and kill him. So we're going to go small strikes and then attack, and let's see where he's at. Okay, that killed him. Very good. All right, so there's the victory. Oh, we did just level up. We got 14 wealth that we can spend, 4 word stones. I don't even know what a lot of this is. It's a currency used in various places. I think we can upgrade the blacksmith. When this first run ends, I'll go look at the blacksmith, and that way you can kind of see what some of the upgrades are, at least on the first thing that you unlock a game. And I'm sure there's going to be so many things. This feels like a slow burn kind of game where, again, it's going to take a lot of runs. You're going to slowly be unlocking more and more features and more ways to make your character even stronger. And again, like I've talked about in other games, though we have a lot of like animations and this feels like a video game, but you also can see, especially with the heavy card play, you could see how this is sort of a translation from a either solo or cooperative game that you could actually have at your physical table playing by yourself or with others. So we're going to pick a new card here. I think I have one heavy cyclone in my deck already. Maybe not. Maybe this resets every run, actually, now that I'm looking at this. So maybe you only have this card for this run. Although I bet there's ways to permanently change your starting deck. Perhaps this is your starting deck. Yeah, it's got to be, because I don't see any of the cards I've chosen before. So drawing 4 cards in Deck Builder is always great, but not this early, because we only have 3 energy. So if we don't have ways to create more energy, having more cards is just more cards we can't play because we don't have enough energy. I think I'm going to do chain attack, because we could do one hit for 125% damage and then duplicate the next card. In other words, we could play this and then basically do 2 attacks for a total of 3. I think I like that. Heavy Cyclone, which I've chosen before, deal 1 hit for 200% damage to all enemies. Reduce armor of all enemies by 10 for the remainder of this turn, or just this turn, it says. That sounds powerful, but according to what else we draw, I think chain attack could be even more powerful. So now we choose a passive. First hit in combat deals 200% more damage. Heal 25% of your missing HP after each victorious combat. Ooh, I like that a lot. I'm going to do that. Well-maintained body. Let's do that. Okay, now we're back to this, you know, again, somewhat ugly world, but I don't know. For some people that might bother you. For me, it's not. I don't mind it at all. Oh, look, now we can see. What does milestone mean?
It's a mystery why these stones light up and banish the weirdness when people walk by. Many believe Merlin himself invented the runes carved into them. There's also a darker rumor that they were left by the Four-Dwellers to lure humans into their domain, like moths to the flame.
Alright, we're going to banish weirdness around this milestone.
As the flickering light of the weird candle combines with...
Hey, so okay, so I'm glad to see that, because before I was kind of like, I didn't understand why when we were out in this part of the world, like why it was so distorted. Well, that's part of the mechanic of the making it where you can see better, of distinguishing the flame or whatever. So I'm a little bit I'm excited about that. I just didn't know what was going on. By the way, the story has been really interesting so far. This does take place in the same world as the Avalon, Tainted Grail Avalon actual, board game. In fact, I think it's like a prelude. This story is a prelude to that game. And so far, the lore and story has been really interesting. It's like a dark version of Arthenian sort of stuff. You heard mention to Merlin there. So this is now orange. It's a pack of enemies. So we can actually see what this is. Oh, there's a treasure. What does this say? A treasure guardian. Okay, we may not be able to win this battle. It's actually against 3. But I think it's worth trying. I don't mind. I mean, again, I think dying is just a part of this game. So let's just see how this goes. One thing I like is that it allows you to both do 2 things. One, see what type of enemy it is. A soul harvester drains hit points from its allies, gets stronger when they die, and then replaces them with summons. A soul thrall and a deformed peasant. This becomes stronger with every hit it suffers. I wonder if we kill it, does it not get resummoned? Then the other thing this game tells you is what the enemy is intending to do. So kind of like, well, a lot of games do this, like Slay the Spire. I mean, other games where you can kind of see like what the next turn is going to look like. So we're getting a lot of damage this next turn. Let's see how much damage we can actually do to this. Normally I would have killed the guy in the middle first, but I'm curious now. If we do take out this guy ourselves, he might kill him on this turn, actually. Oh, see how much, I mean, we're just losing health like crazy. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so it did still summon him. So, yeah, killing the Soul Harvester first would have, I guess, always been the way to go. Although it's doing a lot less damage to us now. This thing is never doing damage to us, so we'll just ignore it for now. We have one more hit. Do we just block? I don't know that block is going to work for both hits, but we'll try it. Okay, it at least protected one hit. That's a good thing, right? We're going to reduce its armor. And we're going to do this. And once again, I think we block. We're just trying to live as long as we can here. This guy's got so much health. I don't like our chances, but we're gonna give it everything we can. Yeah, we're hardly hitting him. Yeah, we have no chance. By the way, we need to be a lot stronger to take on one of these guardians. Just for fun, we'll use our last healing pot, and we'll just make it as long as we can. Three hunter marks, reach 4 to make enemy vulnerable. So it's like it's not vulnerable yet. Maybe it'll start taking more damage when it becomes vulnerable if we're still alive then. Alright, it's now vulnerable. It's now taking full damage. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the only problem is we're not going to survive, but that's good to know. Alright, so we blocked the small attack and then took full damage on the... Alright, so we have to stun him. We have one left. Oh, we can't do that because he's... Wait, can we kill this? I don't actually know. We don't have a stun. Oh, we do have a stun. So maybe we can survive? Oh, did that unstun him? No, it did not. Ah, but we killed him, so now we're taking double damage. That's it. We are toast. Okay. Wow. It goes quick. Now, what I'm curious about is so many things don't maintain... Oh, we unlocked 2 things. Combat flow. After... So these are things... These are not things we got. These are things that were unlocked that we'll run into on our runs. After playing 3 cards, gain 100% damage. For every hit leaving an enemy with 6 hit points or less, draw 1 attack cards. Reduce their cost to 0. That's neat. So we have recruited 2 villagers. I don't know who the first one was. I mean, I know the Blacksmith. I don't think I've gotten anybody else. And find the true boss fight. This will be the last thing, I guess. Soul saved from corruption. We haven't done that yet either. So, when we start over, we can get a blessing. Plus 20 health. We'll take that. And there are several different classes we can choose. I'm so excited to see kind of what these starting decks are, how they're different. All we can use right now is this, though, the main character. I am playing on normal difficulty. You can put it on easy, which honestly, as hard as this game is, if you want to have longer runs, that might not be a bad idea. But for now, I'm all in on sort of normal difficulty. Okay. So, I told you I would show you the Blacksmith. Oops. That's not the Blacksmith. Show you the Blacksmith so you can kind of see what the upgrades look like, at least for this one. So, we can get additional armor spots for Runestones. So, Runestones is something I haven't, I guess, talked about yet. I'll show you those in a minute. But these are all the rewards. It looks like we do lose the dust at the end of the run. So perhaps it would be worth running back to town if you do get a bunch of... Wait, maybe these are actually what we've been acquiring. Let's see. Okay, maybe those persist past death. I'm not actually sure. We'll have to notice. We have 19 right now. Okay, so let's talk about Runestones really quick. They are things you can put into your different slots like armor or weapon, and they will have active and active effects to your weapon and active effects to your armor. I guess I don't have any right now. Again, this is something that must not persist because I have picked them up in the past. But if you look at Runestones, so you start off with 100, I technically could buy one. But like if I got the Cracked Man, if I put it in the weapon slot, every turn increase everyone's damage by 10%, and armor increase everyone's armor by 5. I don't know if everyone includes enemies or not. But anyway, these are the like lowest level of Runestones. You're going to be able to exchange them and even transmute them. So like if you have 3, you can turn it into a different one of the same rarity. I guess if you don't like the ones you have, perhaps. Still a lot I don't know. But let's see if the change we made in the outer world persisted. Okay, it looks like it did not, right? Actually looks like we're in a slightly different place this time. But yeah, that thing we did last time, it did not persist. Maybe I came down this way?
You notice something strange. At first it looks like a glowing ball of light, but with every step you take towards this phenomenon, the weirdness thickens, changing its shape to something more and more indiscernible.
Ooh, we're gonna move closer.
It feels familiar, yet disturbing. You see a bird flying near. One wing flaps close to the oddity, and the whole bird is immediately sucked inside and merged with this peculiar shape. You're close enough now to see the light fading away, leaving you face to face with a monster. It's hard to say if it used to be a human, an animal, or some other being native to this land. Right now it looks like a giant mass of pure weirdness, an enormous lump of undefined, colorless slime with 1,000 eyes. You try, yet nothing in your body works. You can feel your strength dissipating and your mind disintegrating. You made it. The monstrosity oozes back into the weirdness that...
I don't know the value of these candles. That's the first time I've really used one. We have what? So it says I can use it. I don't really know what that does. Okay, I tell you what. Let's wrap it up here. Tainted Grail Conquest. Thank you so much for watching. May play this one again sometime. But yeah, let me know what you think about it. Till next time, peace out.